want to address a question to President Raymond. President Raymond, days after the October 7th attack on Israel, Haverford College released a statement that highlighted, quote, tragedies across the globe that had occurred, quote, since the start of the semester. The email mentioned earthquakes in Morocco and Afghanistan, wildfires in the United States and Canada, and a 2-year-long war in Ukraine. The email only made a passing reference, and I quote, the outbreak of war in Israel and Gaza that had taken place just 48 hours before. We all know in this room, October 7th was not a mutual, quote, outbreak of war between two countries. In fact, it was a terrorist attack by Hamas on Israel. Babies were butchered, women were raped, 1,200 innocents were slaughtered, and over 250 people were kidnapped. I have to ask, why did Haverford lack the moral clarity to immediately and clearly condemn the attack on Israel?
Representative Harris, we did condemn the attack by Hamas on Israel, and it was not, you are correct, in that email, which I was responsible for, and I would do it differently now. This is an example of a difficult period of learning where I did not get it right.
Okay. So you say in your testimony, and I read your testimony beforehand, the written testimony we received, that, quote, any failures and fractures at Haverford are ultimately my responsibility as president. So do you take responsibility for this failure to call the attack what it was immediately?
I take responsibility for the judgment about that communication. That's right.
Okay. Well, on January 4th, 2024, an anonymous author, presumably a Haverford student, published an article on the Political Science Department website expressing dismay for the response of the campus to October 7th. The article highlights the morally bankrupt responses of students to the violence, for example, sharing how students posted phrases like, quote, freedom has only ever been achieved through resistance. Stand with Palestinian resistance, end quote. The author wrote in reaction to seeing these statements posted on his or her classmates that, quote, up until October 7th, I had truly believed that at a liberal arts institution like Haverford, there was no place for anti-Semitism, but I do not know how else to label cheering the death of innocent Jews. Many student activists across the country have used the slogan, resistance is justified when people are occupied, as their motivation for praising the violence that was perpetrated against Israel. I ask you, President Raymond, yes or no, was the October 7th attack on Israel justified?
Absolutely not.
Thank you, ma'am.
No.
And I agree, and it's good to hear you confirm that. And I certainly hope and pray that students around the country, including those enrolled at Haverford, come to realize this very thing as well. I want to turn in my last minute or so to President Manuel. I want to ask you a series of questions, if I will. Have there been violent protests on your campus in response to the war in Sudan?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did DePaul experience encampments over the war in Ukraine?
Also not that I'm aware of.
Have there been chants calling for the eradication of other people groups on your campus besides the Jewish people?
Again, not that I'm aware of.
Thank you, sir. I think we all know why there is no such focus on the world, while there is such a focus on the world's only Jewish state. Unfortunately, anti-Semitism has been spreading like wildfire among our nation's campuses. And as a result, anything Israel does to defend itself and its people faces increased scrutiny that no other nation on earth seems to face. I'm glad we're having this hearing today, and I commend our chairman for helping us shine a light on this very important problem that is plaguing American higher education. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back my time.